In this video, we're going to be talking all about the best van life layouts for 2026. If you're considering a van and you feel like you have no idea what you want in your van, what layout would be the most functional for your needs, then this is the video for you. We're going to break down 5 different layouts in this video that we think are the most functional for vans in 2026.
First, let's talk about who we are and why you should listen to anything we have to say. Well, this is my beautiful wife, Sarah. I am Alex, and we are custom crafted vans. We are a small boutique firm out of Boise, Idaho that has built over 50 custom conversions for clients over the last 9 years. So in that time, we have built vans for pretty much everyone doing anything, from families that want to travel with young kids to couples who are retiring and want to travel to visit family and explore national parks, to everything in between. Now that means that we have talked to a lot of people. I've probably done over 300 consult calls with people who are interested in having a custom van conversion built. And so we've heard a lot of what people are looking for, and most importantly, a lot of how you want to use a van, which is where all of this starts. Everything with a layout comes down to your use case. So now let's dive into these 5 layouts that we think are best for the majority of the use cases that we hear from people who are looking to get on the road in 2026.
First things first, before we jump into all of these layouts, the number one question that you should be asking yourself is, what am I going to be doing 90% of the time in my van? If you can answer that question, then that's going to give you most of the answers that you need to know to build the most functional layout for you. Now, we always say, like, don't build your van on the one day, maybe someday I might, maybe that person would come with me, maybe I'd have my grandkids, maybe I'd have a friend, maybe this would happen, I would like it to happen, maybe. That's gonna end up with you building a van that is just not functional for what you're actually gonna be doing 90% of the time, okay? So the first layout that we wanna talk about is the family van layout, because we ourselves have 2 small boys and we love building vans for families. We've had a lot of iterations of our family van over the years. We've done everything from fixed bed in the back with the cabunk in the front, with setting up bunk beds in that front cab. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can always Google these things. We don't have specific pictures of the cabunk layout, but we've also done the Happy Jack bed lift system in a van that essentially takes the rear of the van and creates a bunk bed system at night, and then the bed at the top raises up to the ceiling, and you have your convertible dinette space down below, so you can still have a table to sit everybody at the family. And then our latest van, which is not out yet, it is done, but we have not revealed it yet, is obviously going to be our favorite layout because we're a little biased. But we did the Super Pacific pop top rooftop tent and a convertible dinette space in the back. For our family, that is the most functional because we love being able to sit and have dinner in our van or sit and play games in the van. So we want that table area in the rear. And because our boys are growing up, we wanted to do the rooftop tent because as they get older, we don't want to feel so crammed in our van and like they don't have a space that they feel comfortable sleeping in.
Yeah, we actually added square footage to the van to give them their own bed space and hangout space in the future as they continue to grow up and get older.
And then one big change, again, we don't have clips of this van yet, that we made in our own personal van, is we did 2 bucket seats instead of doing the bench seat, which you can see in the van behind us. A lot of our vans have featured the double seat bench seat that you sit 2 people side by side. Well, we have found that our children fight, as I'm sure anybody that has kids out there has experienced. The kids are like, oh, don't touch me. And then you're driving and it's just chaotic. So we decided we're separating the children and they have 2 separate seats, which has been amazing.
So when it comes to a family build, you really want to think about your priorities. How many extra seats do you need in the back? What sort of sleeping spaces are you prioritizing? Are you okay with a seat that can turn into a bed like the one behind us? Are you okay with the cabunk system, a Happy Jack system, or a rooftop tent? But there are layouts in a family van for all of those scenarios.
And really, when you're thinking about it in terms of cost perspective, your cheapest option is going to be just having a convertible seat that creates a secondary sleeping space or doing the cabunk. Happy Jack bedless system is the next tier up. And then the rooftop tent is obviously most expensive tent. I think that right now they retail for like 10 to 15
Yeah.
grand US dollars. So it's not a cheap thing to put on your van. It is definitely an investment. But if you know you want to have a van long term, travel with your kids, or this could even work in those scenarios where like I want a friend to come with me and you have a secondary, essentially bedroom within your van.
So that is the family van layout. That's a super popular one. Again, there's a bunch of iterations of it, and you can see all of our builds on our Custom Crafted Vans website in the gallery. We are not clever enough to name all of them, so we just number them. So we're up to 54 right now, so you can scroll through and kind of look through all of the different photos of all of the different builds that we have done.
The second layout is the full bathroom priority layout. I always joke that Alex and I are still happily married almost 10 years later because we put a bathroom in our van. If you know you love to take a shower before you go to bed, or you're female like me who does not want to get up and find a bathroom late at night and walk somewhere in the dark, then a bathroom is probably a big priority for you. We're calling this the bathroom priority layout because it does take up a big fixed amount of space. Now, we have one time done a layout where we did essentially a bathroom cabinet that had a counter that flipped up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we would do that again in the future because it is just not the most functional way to build a bathroom in a van.
Yeah, and the truth is, of that build, that was not her intention of actually using that. She was not really going to be using it as a shower. She had a secondary use case for it. So again, it technically is that, but really wasn't meant to be used for that. Again, it comes down to the client's priorities. When it comes to building a full bath in your van, we always say that it makes sense to kind of double up on the space. So if you know that you want to have a toilet in your van, that's a priority for you, and you want it to be in an enclosed room, you might as well make that closed room a shower because it's going to take up basically the same amount of space. Now, one of the things that we do with our enclosed bathrooms, our wet baths, with the urine diverting toilet, we kind of steal a little bit of space by overhanging our toilet box with the shower pan. That way we're actually saving total from front to back in the van almost 10 inches of space by cantilevering that toilet box over the shower pan. So it still gives you a really nice functional shower space, and it gives you a really nice enclosed bathroom space, which works great for us when we traveled on the road full-time for almost 2 years, and now it works great for our kids. They're able to use that toilet, and I think they like using that toilet more than they like the one at the house, I'll be honest.
That's probably true. So all in all, decide if a bathroom is a priority for you because a big part of your layout is going to be taken up by that bathroom space. If you don't, then you have a lot more space to work with. So you have to weigh the pros and cons there on whether it's the right thing for your needs. Again, think about that 90% of the time. How do you want to use your van? Are you going to be hiking? Are you going to be biking? Are you going to be doing something active and you know you're going to want to have a nice shower and go to sleep that night nice and clean?
Yeah.
The answer is always yes for us.
Yeah. And just one quick note, you can always do an outdoor shower mixer. That's something that we install in all of our builds, where you have the shower mixer on the bench in the back so you can open up the back doors and take a shower outside. Just based on our experience, you can't always do that everywhere that you are right before bed. So it might be an option just to think about if you're like, oh, well, I'll just always take a shower outside. You may want to run through kind of that scenario in your head about how many times you really would be able to do that versus other times where it's like, this just isn't convenient. So that might be one reason to think about putting a bathroom in if you haven't thought about it before.
Number 3 is what we're calling the open lounge no fixed bed layout. This is very similar to our beach house layout that has the dinette in the rear that converts to a bed at night. A lot of people on the internet say, don't do that because then you're gonna have to make your bed every single night. You can always leave your dinette in bed mode. That's one of the best things about it. And you can use the underneath for storage when it is in that bed mode. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. I mean, there have been times where we were traveling in our van and we probably left it in bed mode for several days at a time. But then you get to a point where you're like, oh, I really want to set up the table and be able to sit there and work and do whatever. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. And this is really popular with our beach house layout. We have built the beach house probably 30 to 40 times.
Yeah.
And a lot of clients customize it to their own needs. If they want a bigger fridge or they want a microwave or they want a different toilet in their bathroom, but the basics stay the same, and a lot of clients love the convertible space because it gives you options.
Yeah, one of the questions that we get on consult calls a lot, or I guess the thought is you don't want a convertible table bed because when you make all of the cushions together, you're gonna feel the seams and it's gonna be uncomfortable to sleep on. Well, we did it for almost 2 years full time. We still do it with our kids. The trick for us is we actually oversize all of those cushions. By the time you add up the width of all of those and the width of the van, we add an extra inch to the cushion dimensions so that it's a very tight fit, and that stops from having any low points where you're gonna like kind of fall into that crack or that seam. So, and also the widest cushion is gonna be 23 inches wide, which is still gonna give you like a really nice sleeping space if you position your cushions right, where you're not even gonna have to lay on a seam at all. So that is one of the things that I think is an objection we've heard that, again, I don't really think is an objection to stop you from doing this if you feel like you do want that convertible use space.
One other thing that we've actually done a lot for clients who have done fixed beds is still cut the mattress essentially into sections so that it's easier to manage if they do need to take their mattress out to then take out the bed system or access their plumbing and electrical systems. So even with a fixed bed, a lot of the time you're still not getting one full size mattress.
That is a great point, because have you ever tried to move a 76-inch long by 67-inch wide by 5-inch thick foam mattress?
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's heavy. It's heavy and awkward. So great points, Sarah. Nice. Look at you.
Number 4 is, shocker, the fixed bed layout. So if you're considering doing a platform bed, I think the biggest question you need to ask yourself is, are you taking large gear related items with you? If you know you love mountain biking, then yes, absolutely do a platform bed that works for your needs, what you're gonna be doing 90% of the time.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it comes down to the priority of what do you need to have stored in the van when it comes to your gear, and then allocating that space. You also still have to remember, underneath your bed, in the majority of our builds and the majority of the builds out there, that is where you're going to have your plumbing and your electrical systems. So just because you have a platform bed doesn't mean that you can then have the entire space open unless you're going to find somewhere else to steal that space from in your layout. So you still have to have those things fit into your build, but then you also have a couple options when it comes to platform bed. Do you want to have a modular system like the RB Components bed system we talked about? I know Flatline Vanco makes one. Pretty much anyone out there that makes exterior/interior components has a platform bed system that you can put in with a rail system, and typically like 2 or 3 sections. You can also build it in custom like we have done on a few builds, or we actually build an entire cabinet system to house the plumbing and electrical system and then build the platform bed system on top of those. So you have options. Again, it really just comes down to you identifying what is it gear-wise that you have to have inside the van.
Alex is totally right though. You really only get that middle section through the bed from front to back for storage, because on the left and the right, you have a large plumbing and electrical system. Those take up space. Even sometimes Alex will have calls with people talking about the dinette layout and am I gonna have any storage in those benches? And the answer is really no, because that's where your systems live. That is how you can go off grid and not have to worry about water and electricity. All of that is housed in those benches, and it's really not a place that you want to be storing extra stuff. You don't want to be shoving things in there and messing with your electrical connections or your plumbing connections. So it's really not a storage space. That's why if you're going to do the platform bed, just know that it's not just all storage for you, unless, like Alex said, you move those to other areas of the van, but then you probably wouldn't end up with a very big size kitchen. You know, there's sacrifices. Every little inch matters within a van.
Yeah, usually when you see a van that's wide open in the back like that, it's just because it doesn't have really a power system or a plumbing system on it, which is an option if you want kind of like a cruise around day van, adventure van, which is the next van that we're going to talk about, which is the everyday driver / adventure trip van. So we have built a couple of these for different clients, everything from like super minimal builds for retired couples that are like, hey, we just want the step above camping in a tent outside. So we want like 2 twin beds in here with a cabinet and a base electrical system and some vent fans and a fridge. And then they're gonna put a toilet over in the corner and they're totally content with traveling, because this is, again, it's a step up from camping for them. We also have designed vans like our last van, number 53, 2 vans ago, I guess. it was a really cool layout that we did for a family down in Park City with 3 kids that they wanted this as kind of a road trip mobile slash tailgate vehicle, and then also to be able to take it camping if they wanted to. So we did do the Super Pacific pop top tent on the top.
But we didn't do a bathroom.
No bathroom because they couldn't fit it. Again, everything's a trade-off when it comes to your layout.
And one really big thing to remember in your layout is it really matters what van you pick. If you know that you have kids and you want the biggest bang for your buck, you want a bathroom, you're gonna have those extra seats, you want plenty of storage inside your van, you want a really good sized kitchen, then a 170 extended Sprinter van is the biggest van on the market. So you're probably gonna wanna go with that. Most of our clients who have kids have opted for the 170 extended wheelbase, and the 3500 is a really important factor there as well for the weight to handle everything that we're going to put into it, especially if you want the rooftop tent. So just knowing that like you have to pick the right van for the layout, right? So again, think back to that 90% of the time. If 90% of the time you're going to be traveling by yourself and you're not bringing anybody with you, then a 144 or, you know, even if you want to go the Transit or ProMaster route, one of those vans is probably going to be the best for you. Now, personally, we mostly only build in the Sprinter. We prefer to build into the Sprinter van. I know a lot of people on the internet have so much hate about the Sprinter van, how much the maintenance costs. A lot of that is false because it is a diesel engine. You actually don't have to go in for maintenance as much as a gas engine does. Also for climate control, the Sprinters are diesel, so it's a lot safer to install a heater into. There's a lot of things, that's probably a whole nother video topic that we can get into.
We've given a ton of info in this one, and we're holding back a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So there's a lot more details we could get into, but I think that the big thing to think about if you're watching this video and you're like, hey, I really want a van in the future, the big tip here is plan. We've talked about a lot of things for you to think about and for you to kind of prep for how you want to use the van, and then talk to van builders. Talk to van dealerships, figure out what's out there, what you're looking at price point wise for what you want, what are the things that you're not thinking about so that you can plan properly for a build in 2026 and make your perfect van layout for 2026.
Now, I think our number one rule with all of this is plan for it to be functional. I think there's so many ideas out there and they get a little crazy and complicated and just intricate, and the more complicated and more design forward you want your van to be, the more expensive it's going to be, the longer it's going to take, the more that could go wrong in the process. Really simple is better, and that's why a lot of our clients pick our tried and true and tested van layouts that have proven to help hold up over time. Our beach house layout is obviously one of our most popular, as well as our family van layouts. Knowing that it's already been used by other people and it's functional and it works for them and it's simple, and if you ever sell it in the future, it's going to be resellable and it's going to be functional for those people in the future. It's not super complicated where, you know, you need a 10-step, here's how you do this one thing in the van because it's so complicated with a Murphy bed or whatever it may be. Simple is better. Less is more for sure in the van world.
Yeah. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. We would love to get ideas from you in the comments down below on what we could do in a part 2 of this video. So if there are questions that came up that you have on these topics or other topics that are related to layouts in 2026, please leave those down below and we will try to get another video up in the next couple months and keep this conversation going.
Now, if you're interested in potentially working with us, you can check out the link down below to book a free consult call with Alex. Alex does all of our sales calls. There is no middleman. You don't get on the call with some random person that you've never heard about before. It is always going to be Alex getting on the phone with you because we really want to make sure that we get all the information from you to make sure if it's a good fit and to make sure that we're giving you the product that you actually want and that you are going to be satisfied with. So if you're interested in booking a call, we are already starting to book into 2027. I know that is crazy, but as we have kind of redefined our business a little bit this year, which is really exciting, we're getting back into content, doing less van builds because we want to keep the quality as high as possible and not scale our business to a 30-person team. We want to keep it small and all of our vans functional and beautiful for all of our clients in the future and all the ones that we've worked with in the past that we love. So that's it for this video, I think.
Yeah, so thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time.